What a beautiful day today. Little crisp fall morning, but appreciate everybody coming out, and it's good to see everybody. I do want to do a couple of housekeeping items if we can prior to get going. First of all, obviously with the COVID situation, we ask that you try to social distance if you can. Wear your mask if possible, even though you guys are grouped together, but we want to try to be in compliance with the health department orders as much as we can, okay? So I thank you for that. If you need to use the restroom, City Hall is open. Restrooms are in through the vestibule all the way down to this side. So please feel free to use it, the restrooms if you need to. I'd like to, I want to do some thank yous now because I may forget later on during the presentation here, but I want to thank, obviously I want to thank everybody that's here today. I think this is quite a testament to Jan and how much we care for her and how much a wonderful person she is, that everybody came out on this fall crisp morning for this dedication. I want to thank you guys. I also want to thank everybody for their donations. This was would have not been possible if it wasn't for the generous donations of residents, of former co-workers, employees. But we did have an overwhelming amount of donations, and we're presenting Keith with the amount left over after facilitating this later on during the presentation, so thank you. I do want to thank my wife, Teresa. Raise your hand. She did a lot of organization here, and I couldn't have done this without her. So I also want to thank staff for helping out with the installation. Our DPWs, Mike and Roger, did the installation, ran the electrical, and we did get a permit for it. So Jan would make sure of that. But, and I want to thank Rhonda and the rest of the clerical, because they did help out on getting this organized for today. So thank you. Also would like to shout out thank you to Jewett Landscaping. They came in and actually did some additional plantings in here this week, put some mulch down, and did it at no cost to us or at all. It was just a donation from them. So I would like to thank them for their contribution. Also like to thank, more importantly, City Council for allowing us to do this, allowing it to be here present at City Hall and at the front entrance. Because every time anybody walks into City Hall, whether you're a resident, customer, friend, you're going to be able to see it and reflect on the time we've had with Janet Green. So I do want to recognize council members that are here today, if I could. Mayor Mark Hoffman, Councilmember Bruce McIntyre, Mayor Pro Tem Norm Finkelstein, Councilmember Dan Cross, and did I miss anybody? I think that's it. Also, we have here today with us Chief Joe George, his wife Sandy, and then Ron, the City Clerk, and Fred. So thank you, thank you for all coming today. One other recognition I'd like to know, name is Frank Copeland and his wife Gail. Frank has worked with Jan for numerous years. I don't know, 30 years, Frank? He was a city treasurer, also a former council member. I think he even sat on the planning commission, if I'm not mistaken. But good to see you here, Frank and Gail, and thank you guys for coming. So obviously, I had the pleasure of working with Jan for 11 years full-time. And then 4 to 6 years after that, she was our city treasurer. The working relationship was awesome. All of you know why you're here. She's just a beautiful individual. But out of our work relationship, when I first started here, grew a friendship. And it's life is difficult because you usually don't find someone that can become such a good friend in a such short span of time. And I've been very blessed. I've been very fortunate that the friendship has grown and blossomed, and she's just a truly credible individual, and as you know, we all miss her tremendously, but if anything we learn how to be caring, giving, thoughtful of anybody else around us, because that's exactly what Jan was. It was never about her. It was always about everybody else, and if we can learn from that, then we'll all be better people and we'll have a better society. So with that, I would like to turn it over to the mayor for some comments. Mayor Mark Hoffman.
Thanks. Well, I'd like to just make this short and say Jerry said everything, but sorry, I got more to say. as Jerry said, she was a clerk for 36 years and retired in 2011 and city treasurer. I've been a resident in this city since 1981, and I got to know Jan over the years, first starting to work in my subdivision for like road paving and paths, and then I got involved with the Planning Commission, Orchard Lake Nature Sanctuary Advisory Board, then moved to City Council. Now I'm mayor. And the reason I got involved with the city, to be honest, one of the reasons was Jan. She was so nice to work with. She was pleasant to everybody. She always had a smile. She was just great to be able to work with, and what was most interesting is how well she could work with everybody here. We have all kinds of different personalities in the city, all kinds of people going in and out of council. She was sort of the glue and the grease to make everything work well. I mean, and I just mentioned this to Keith, I think probably he's the only one that would know if there was any problems with people in the city, because Jan was so gracious. She just was a wonderful person. She just loved everybody. She always was just so super. And you know, she was involved with a lot of things in the city. For example, the city hall, purchase of the nature sanctuary, sewers and water. She kept a positive budget with some help from some people right frank in front of me, I'm sure. She served as a clerk on the fire board. And plus all the other things that went on in the city. We're fortunate to have such a nice city, and I honestly believe she was part of the reason the city could grow into as nice community as it is. Very, very nice. And in my mind, as I think Jerry said, her biggest asset and accomplishment was be able to work with everybody, as I just mentioned. She knew how to work with people. And I learned from that. One of the comments I think I made to someone earlier was, you know, was on all these different boards. She was there helping running the meeting, keeping things in order. And then when I'd read the minutes, I just couldn't believe how nice we all sounded. I mean, I did read them and I go, was I even there? So I'm sure everybody else agrees with this. She will be missed. She's been missed, you know, since she left, but she's never going to be forgotten. And I'm really glad we were able to do this. So, thank you. Jerry, you've got the next step, right?
I do.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
One other thing that I failed to mention earlier was that I did receive a nice letter from Jan's sister, Allison. Allison was a city clerk here many, many moons ago, but Allison wanted me to share to everybody here her thankfulness for doing this dedication for Jan. Unfortunately, she could not be here today, but she is here in spirit, and she just wanted to pass that along to everybody. So I failed to mention also a couple officers, Officer Malat and Officer Gomez, Don Pratt, who works in the building department. I picked out the rest of the staff, but I forgot those guys, but they are important as everybody else. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and do the dedication. Keith, do you mind just stepping up here if you don't mind? Mike? Mike, you got to do the thing inside. Roger, can I get your assistance for a second, please? I want to let you know this is something that we all had a collective discussion on and agreement about this water feature. We felt that the water feature was a perfect example of Jan being, well, Teresa put it well, my wife, was that it bubbles. And Jan was so bubbly. She was always so happy, so full of life. And so we figured a water feature up here in her dedication and her memorial, so that every time you come to City Hall, not that you're not going to think about her or try to have the good memories from her and stuff, but we'll see it here. So with that, Keith would like to make a couple of comments for the crowd.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and donating for this. This is wonderful. She wouldn't have wanted it, but she deserved it. And I want to thank everybody who donated. And she loved her job here. It meant so much. She always tried to stay neutral. I think that's how she kept her job so long. She said everybody deserved equal access to City Hall. And she did her best at that. And I think sometimes some feathers would be ruffled, but for the most part, I think everybody respected her for that. And I'm gonna miss her. I do miss her. It's hard, but life goes on, and I'm just glad everybody remembers her. And if you get a chance, there's a YouTube that Teresa put together, Janet Elaine Memories on YouTube. Janet Elaine Green Memories is what it is. You'll see a lot more of her home life. For some of you that didn't know, or outside of work, she was what our favorite author called a constant reader. She read every day. She loved golf, and yoga, and swimming off the boat. And we were married 39 years, had a great life together, and Orchard Lake was a big part of it. And the one other thing I want to say is I want to thank the residents and city council for the wonderful medical insurance they've provided over the years. It's just been phenomenal in our struggle. Excuse me. And I just want to thank everybody for remembering her.
Thank you, Keith. We can only imagine how hard it is for you, because it's hard on us, and we miss her terribly. But please know that we're here for you, and if you ever need anything, do not hesitate to call. So, as I mentioned earlier, with the generous contributions from residents, family, friends, we did have excess donations left over after the installation and the purchase of this water feature for Jan. So what we'd like to do, Keith, we'd like to present you with a check. My understanding is that Meals on Wheels was a very of West Oakland County was something very important to you and Jan to help out people that are less fortunate than we are. So with it, we'd like to present you with a check for $2,100 for that donation in Jan's honor.
Oh, that's great.
Okay?
Thank you. It's a great charity. All the money goes to help people. Almost all the people that work there are volunteers. Mm-hmm. So it really is a good one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So, a couple of closing comments. First of all, I'm sorry.
Not on the agenda, but could I be?
You can be, absolutely. Anybody who wants to come up and speak is more than welcome to.
My name is Frank Grapentine. My wife and I came in from Brighton. Hello, Pete. Jan's grandmother was my aunt, so I'm a second cousin. And you mentioned some of the folks here, the local folks here, what Jan did for the local community. Some of the things that you might not know about Jan is that there's a Southeast Michigan Council of Government, SEMCOG, which has a subgroup of clerks. They have a golf outing every year, but they also get together and they do mentoring for each other. And Jan was a very active participant in that, mentored a lot of other clerks. I'm from Livingston County, and Jan is known in Livingston County. One of the other things that I'd like to have you take away in a memory of Jan is that in the times that we're going through now, there's a lot of controversy, discussion about voting and balloting. Michigan is unique in that it maintains a paper copy of ballots. They can reconcile up to a point of who voted, who should have, who didn't, who could have. They can go back and verify what's being done. Michigan is unique that way. Jan was a contributor to that. In Livingston County, our clerk is now a Michigan House of Representatives, and she's taking some of the things that she learned from Jan to Lansing and sharing with some of the other folks and making sure that voter registration, voter fraud is kept to a minimum. So I just wanted you all to realize that Jan was here local, everybody appreciated her, loved her, but beyond Orchard Lake, she was a contributor also. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Anybody else like to come up and say a few words? The mic is open. Seeing none? So we have roses that that are put out here in rose petals that are going to be handed out by my beautiful bride. What these roses represent is the yellow rose is the warmth of yellow roses symbolize friendship, joy, and gladness, and obviously Jan exuberated all of that. And again, the friendship probably is the best for me because I've never met a true good friend like her in my whole life. Just an awesome individual. The dark pink roses symbolize a sense of gratitude, appreciation, and recognition. It's a great way to say thank you. Thank you for the time that we were allowed to have with her and share and be blessed to be to have her as our friend, neighbor, wife, sister-in-law, sister, just anybody that's had any kind of relationship with her. So my wife will be handing out these petals. You are more than welcome to come up and place the petals in the fountain if you like. You can stay there for a minute, say a few words if you like. Mayor, did you have any closing comments? No? So with that, again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. It's a beautiful day. The sun came out, and I appreciate it. Keith, thank you for your comments and your words. I know how hard it was for you, but please know that she will always be in our hearts and in our thoughts. Thank you, everybody.